Good evening, I'm Pinky Webb. Tonight we ask the questions, we tackle the issues, we clarify matters, and we get on point. Actress Gretchen Barretto has denied involvement in the missing Sabungeros. Barretto's lawyer says her client has no participation in e-sabong operations. She adds the actress's supposed knowledge to implement the disappearances is absurd and plain invention. Let's get on point with her lawyer, Attorney Alma Mallonga. Attorney Alma, good to see you again. Thank you so much for your time and good evening.
Good evening, Pinky. Nice to be here tonight with you.
All right. First, I wanted to get your reaction, just a little bit of a story on when Miss Gretchen Barretto started to contact you and her reaction to what was earlier a mere speculation to eventually what happened was her being named as part of those involved in the case of the missing Sabungeros.
I think she started contacting me. I've known Miss Gretchen Barretto for quite a while. So she has been a client, but she is also a friend. I have known her to be a very generous person. She has concerns for those who are smaller than her. In fact, if you will remember, Pinky, this was a long time ago, but there was an occasion where she sought my help in trying to help a maid who had been unfairly accused of stealing some jewelry, and she had been detained for quite a while. We did succeed in getting the maid off because there was really no evidence against her, and we have been in touch every so often. So we know each other socially,
Yeah.
and also in my capacity as a lawyer. So about sometime last week, I think, when the news broke out, there were some perturbing allegations on the part of a supposed whistleblower, teasing revelations about the connections of a well-known actress. But it's very easy to read between the lines. He was obviously referring to Miss Gretchen Barretto. So she got in touch with me and she told me, what am I supposed to do about this? And I counseled her and said, there's nothing here.
Mm.
At this point, it's all speculation. Even the whistleblowers was merely saying, this well-known actress must know something. She must know something without saying anything else. And then, of
Well-known
course,
actress na part of the Alpha. That was the initial statements. Those were the initial statements and description.
mhm. And then finally, I think just last week, he finally came out with the supposedly explosive news that the person he was talking about was Miss Gretchen Barretto. What was regretful about that revelation was that if you look at it very, very carefully, and if you parse through the allegations, what he was saying at the get-go was, again, based on speculation, surmise, malicious insinuations. He pinpointed to three specific persons who he said were the masterminds. He did not name Gretchen. And again, he came out with the speculation that she must know something about this. And then now he said she was a member of the Alpha. She was an Alpha member.
Mhm.
Therefore, she must know something. She's so close to Mr. Atong An. She must know something. And then again, just at the tail end of last week, sometime on Friday, perhaps realizing, and maybe somebody pointed out to him that his revelations are really no revelations at all, he began to embellish his tale, and then he added the supposed fact that Miss Gretchen Barretto was first that she attended meetings where the matter was discussed, and then he further embellished this and said that in those meetings, the Alpha members were asked to vote, and they gave their approval,
And she was one of them who
and
gave
she
the
was supposed to
approval.
be
Yeah.
one of them. And then later on, he again embellished this by saying that, well, there is this video of a killing which was being viewed by Mr. Atong Ang. And strangely enough, he said, well, Miss Gretchen Barretto was there viewing the video along with him.
All right.
And that's it. That's it. Um,
Yes, I get where you're going with this, especially, of course, in the beginning where it was mere speculation. And then, of course, it was easy for a number of people to think he was referring to Miss Gretchen Barretto. Some people, of course, knowing that she was she was part of e-sabong, or there were videos of her together with Atong Ang. And I guess just moving, cutting through it till the end, as you were mentioning, dumating na ho kasi yung when this statement of Ms. Gretchen Barretto came out. Basically, it was saying that she's being crucified without basis, subject of speculation based on rumor, and basically linked via association. Understandably, that was the statement then. But after that, Attorney Alma, was when alias Totoy said that merong meeting, and allegedly she was part of that meeting, kasama siya sa pumayag sa walain yung mga sabungero. Ngayon, isa siya sa tumaas ng kamay, yan si Gretchen Barretto. Yun po yung sinabi niya sa isang interview, itong si alias Totoy. So parang medyo, would it be fair to say, there needs to be an addition to the former statement that Gretchen did with regards to this?
yes, it's very obvious to me that all of this is invention, fanciful embellishment. You can call it falsehood, straight out falsehoods. In the first place, if Mr. Whistleblower really had some specific knowledge about Gretchen, he would have said so from the very beginning. But he added on, and he continued to, embellish, as I said, the supposed role of Ms. Barretto, to expand on that role. I suspect because he had secured some counsel. He says that he has a lawyer, and maybe his own lawyer told him, Mr. Whistleblower, what you're saying is not enough. If you want to continue saying that Ms. Barretto is somehow involved, you have to say more. You, even to the point of inventing, you have to say more. Unfortunately for Mr. Whistleblower, and unfortunately for whoever who advised him, what they're saying is not enough. I won't. I don't want to go legalistic, but jurisprudence is quite clear about what a a criminal is and what a conspirator is, and the mere consent or even an agreement to commit a crime is clearly not enough. So I say now, all of this is in the form of damage to reputation. Hindi ko alam kung ano talaga ang gustong gawin ni Mr. Whistleblower. I suspect that he wants to create some kind of interest, sustained interest on this matter. It becomes more sensational. There's more interest in the case if Ms. Barretto is somehow involved. Because you will remember, he said that Ms. Barretto must know something. She must know everything because she's an alpha member. But Ms. Barretto is not the only alpha member. I think it has been disclosed
Okay.
that are about 20 investors. So they must know everything. Why Ms. Barretto alone? So I suspect this thing is for the purpose of just further sensationalizing the matter so that more people will listen to him.
So let's talk about what her involvement really is. From my understanding, even from the statement that came out, was that Gretchen Barretto is an investor, and that's it.
That's it.
Okay. How did she get into this, and is there a way to prove that she's an investor here? Are you planning to bring out evidence? Is there even anything to actually show that one is an investor?
In the first place, Pinky, I have to emphasize that we're not here to litigate actually the culpability of Ms. Barretto because, as I said, everybody's saying there's still an investigation. The investigation is ongoing, and I'm heartened to hear just earlier this afternoon that Justice Secretary Remulla came out on interview when he was asked directly, is there enough evidence to pin down Ms. Barretto at this time? Do you stand by your earlier statement that she is a suspect? He very clearly said, no, everything is still under evaluation. All the evidence must be validated. In effect, emphasizing that the only connection to Ms. Barretto at this time is because she was named by Mr. Whistleblower. And whether or not what he's saying is rings true or can be believed, whether or not he's credible in this respect, is something that must still be examined intensively. And Pinky, I have just to say, with respect to the embellishment, that there was supposed to be a meeting where Miss Gretchen, supposedly along with unnamed others, participated, even to the extent of raising her hand. It's so ridiculous. It's so absurd. It's contrary to logic and experience, human experience. Why would you go out if there was such a criminal conspiracy going on? Why would you gather yourself in a meeting and then people would vote on whether or not some killing or disappearance would go on? Mr. Whistleblower doesn't even say when, where, why, what happened, how many occasions, who were there. And revealingly enough, one of the things that he said was he selected the people that he was going to name. He said in an interview with Mr. Filon, I think I can name him, he said na merong mga mababait and he deliberately did not include them in the affidavit. He just chose, I don't know by what standards, the persons that he would include in his affidavit.
Affidavit. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I don't even want to really go deeply.
Okay.
The purpose of this interview, Pinky, is, I said, not to prove our innocence, because that is something that will happen down the road. We don't intend to interfere in the investigation, but because that is ongoing, we don't want to interfere in the proceedings that may or may not follow hereafter. We will cooperate in that event. It is to say that and to emphasize that everything that is happening now is so unfair. It's so unfair
That's
to
why.
Miss Barreto.
Attorney
Um,
Alma, I wanted to ask you about that because, when something like this happens, normally the burden of proving this really lies rather with the prosecution. And if somebody is named one way or another, whoever this person is, and I'm not just talking about Gretchen Barretto, there's this feeling that one becomes defensive because you're named, ano po. So, ganito na lang po, because he named them, Gretchen, Atongang, and two other people. Is there a way? Are you going to reach out? Is your camp going to reach out to the Justice Secretary to kind of like, I don't know, clear her name or shed light into this?
well, theoretically and legally, there's nothing that we can do at this point legally, because the Department of Justice has made it clear that the investigation is ongoing. Secretary Remulla himself said that all of this noise doesn't really matter, it's irrelevant. It will not affect their decision on the matter. But in the meantime, all of this noise is creating actual adverse effects upon certain people, especially Ms. Barreto, because at the core of the allegations against her is this very malicious insinuation that she must have some kind of relationship that means that she must be in on the crime. It's so unfair, it's so manipis, it's so fanciful, it's so absurd. You can say everything, but in the meantime, I know that there are some right thinking people who will attempt and maybe perhaps listen to us, because this is the only thing that we can do right now. Because this interview, Pinky, it's not a legal process. We hope that we are able to reach out to people who will listen to us and agree with us that at this point, please listen to what Mr. Whistleblower is actually saying. And with respect to Ms. Gretchen Barretto, he is saying nothing. And other than that, he is spouting nonsense. He is saying things that are obviously untrue. even from the point of, as I said, logic and human experience. To go from saying that Gretchen must know something because she is close to Mr.
Atty.
Atty, and now saying, oh, she even participated in this ridiculous meeting where there was a showing of hands, and Miss Gretchen Barretto agreed, raised her hand and said, yes, go ahead and kill these people.
Walain.
Who these
Opo.
people are anyway? And then, worse than that, making it clear that he selected the people that he wanted to include because he said,
Identify.
I'm not identifying, I'm just identifying some of the people.
But,
Mga
but
tao na mababait. Who are these people na mababait? I mean, it's so ridiculous. And this is our only avenue, Pinky. I'm so sorry. This is not legal. Our discussions are not really legal. We're going to the unfairness of everything. So much damage has been done to Miss Barretto. This has a real impact on her. As I said in earlier interviews, there are some people who do not like Miss Gretchen Barretto. For some reason or the other, I cannot understand why that is the case because she is a very good person from my point of view. I don't want to give them the satisfaction of saying that Miss Barretto is devastated about this, she's crushed or desperate, etc. She's not. She is prayerful and she's very hopeful. But as any other person who has been maliciously accused of a crime, of course she's concerned. Of course she's not happy. And the only way to help her, knowing that this is not legal, but this is, trial by publicity maybe, people just want to listen to this because it's interesting, it's sensational. People want to make their own conclusions. This is our only way.
Attorney Alma.
Humaharap kami ngayon. Sinasabi namin, makinig naman kayo.
Opo.
Please. Not everything that this Mr. Whistleblower is saying is true. Some of it is obviously untrue. Please naman, let's stop. If there's an investigation, let's wait for the investigation. There is a process and we're very confident, Pinky, upon the law, upon what he has said so far. Unfortunately for Mr. Whistleblower, by the way, I'm sorry, you've already said what you have said. Everything that you say, that everything that you have said, that's part of your admissions. It forms part of the body of evidence that can be taken against you. You cannot say this and then embellish it to number two, further embellish it to number three, and say you still plead to be believed. No, the embellishments themselves disprove your allegations, disprove your motives.
Attorney
In
Alma, you were saying a while ago, just wanted to go back to Gretchen. You were saying that she's still prayerful, obviously unhappy with what has happened. Are there plans on your part, her part, to file a complaint against alias Totoy?
I've been asked that a number of times, and I've said that we're studying the matter. Is an option on the table. But Pinky, it doesn't really give us much relief at this point. We know what the truth is, and we will go to court, go through that. It's a very tiring process. It's a very stressful process of having to go against this person who's actually saying something that we know on his face is untrue. What is our best way? Our best way right now is to actually plead to the people, go out like in your show right now, and thank you for giving us the venue to point out the obvious. The obvious is that Mr. Whistleblower is just speculating. Beyond that, he is embellishing and destroying his credibility in the process
Opo.
as far as Ms. Barrett is concerned. This is helpful to us, actually, because he's already said it. And the damage to the reputation of Ms. Barretto is already there. So I'm just hoping that people will listen, be more discerning. Let's trust the process. I still trust that the Department of Justice will do its job. The secretary has done his part also.
Okay.
Just this
Opo.
afternoon, as I said, that let's wait. Everything is
Attorney,
still being
I guess
validated.
just a
Yes.
couple of other more, just maybe two or three more questions.
Yes.
Right now, the filing a possible case against alias Toto is on the table, you were saying, but are you readying yourselves in the event that his affidavit is formalized? Kasi hindi pa po kumpleto yung kanyang affidavit. At
Yes,
ilagay
yes.
ho niya doon yung sinasabi niyang allegedly involvement ni Gretchen Barretto dito sa kanyang affidavit, which formalizes it. What kind of actions are you mulling or are you readying yourselves?
First of all, of course, it's true, Pinky, that even now we are preparing. We are gathering everything that Mr. Whistleblower has said or done. Remember, Mr. Whistleblower stands accused in a crime for serious illegal detention. His bail has been revoked by the Court of Appeals. There are volumes of documents from which his statements can be gathered from. There's also been Senate investigations conducted 3 years ago. I understand that Mr. Whistleblower also participated there. We are closely examining what he has said through his supposedly explosive allegations, which have turned out to be duds, actually. All of these will form part of the body of evidence that we can use later on,
Okay.
perhaps to file a case for perjury against him, which, by the way, Pinky, as many people know, perjury is now a more serious crime than it was. It has the penalty for perjury has been increased much more than slander, which is probably the only case that we can file against him right now. So we're waiting for the opportune moment. But at the same time, we remain prayerful, hopeful, and trustful about the
The
process.
process. All right.
Yeah.
Attorney Alma Mallonga, thank you so much for your time. I hope to speak to you again. Maraming salamat po.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Pinky.
Attorney Alma, of course, is the lawyer of Ms. Gretchen Barretto. Thank you, ma'am.